Hey guys, this is Vijay Sridhara and I welcome you to the first session on Doji scripting. This is a visual novel game engine. It's a script, it's an IDE, and it's also ported with a player. So you can write the game, test the game, and port it uh, for your users. So it's not based on graphic cards, not on DirectX. It is plainly on the display adapter, whatever the computers have. So don't expect too much of graphics to happen. It's a visual game. If a graphics supports the movement of characters from left to right looks good. If the graphics card is not fast enough, you will see some delay. So it's better to keep the characters static than making them move around. So that's the important point I want to bring uh, in the first tutorial itself. So let's look at this game, how it works. So I will just compile this game and show you. And this is how the player looks like when the user opens. There is a start game, and this is the background. The character moves from left to right. You can choose to keep the character static instead of moving from left to right or right to left. If your computer is fast enough, you can have that facility. Otherwise, leave the character in the middle or left or whatever position you choose. So this is called a dialogue that happens, and this is the speaker, and this is the dialogue, actual dialogue that happens. And this is another character that is coming from the right. So every click uh, makes some change to the screen. So that's how it is. And this is called a menu that happens. You can choose the menu and control the branching of the game. So if I say I will return, then this scene ended with this navigation menu. So you can navigate to these areas. So these are also image buttons which you will have to create for your game using either GIMP or Adobe Photoshop or Affinity, whatever you choose. These are PNG images. So you can see there are two images. One is a plain image and then there is a hover image. These these two images for each of these you have to create. So I will show you how it works. So let's go to forest. So here there is a forest and then for it doesn't allow me. This is another scene where there is another menu that is asking me to do these two activities. I don't train. If I don't train, the scene has ended on this navigation menu. So I can navigate from here. I can also look at my statistics. So this is a button with a plain image and a hover image. When I click this, it goes to another scene where the statistics are displayed. So the score of the training, fighting, respect. So you can also see another button here, back button, which has a plain image and a hover image. None of this is plain or none of this is a button, except here there are three labels here. As you understand, these are not highlighted. If I click on this, nothing happens. So these are labels. And the rest of it, this rectangle with rounded corners is an image here with this data. So all of this is mostly static content except these three parameters and then this button. So I learned to fight and I learned. So rest till next day, it says this. I won't train. I now go to forest to do something. I call the monster. The monster appears, and then I shoot the monster, and then the shot has missed. So I go to camp to complete my training. So this is how the game flow happens. And finally, if I want to look at my score, three, I have fought once. I have trained thrice. So the game has set for training of 5 times to win the match. So now I won't train. I have completed five. The score is five. So I go back to the forest and call the monster. Now I shoot the monster. I shot it. Now I come back home. I talk to my girl. and then the game has ended. So this is how game happens. These are the save areas where you can save the game. There is also a cheat enablement here. You can enable the cheat when you restart the game. The restart doesn't happen during debug phase because this is a dynamically created game. This is not saved to a file yet. Only when you save to a file, the game, compiled game, then only you can restart it. So I will show you how to restart the game. So there are two options here. You can just build the game to see there are no syntax errors. Now I just built the game. There are no syntax errors. Now I might want to run the game. So this time it will build and run it immediately. So this is in-memory game. This game cannot be restarted from here. You'll have to restart from here. If you want to restart the game from the game player itself, what you need to do is you need to finalize the game. When you finalize the game, an ID is generated. This is compiled into a file, and then you can actually run the game from here. So the file is pulled from the file is pulled and run as a game. So let's do it one more time. The last compilation time is shown here. So the compilation time has updated, and now I can run the game. Now I can restart the game if I want. So I can also enable cheats. These are the variables that are available. These are the scenes that are available. I can directly dive into while developing my game. And this enable cheats is a variable. So this game directory is here. Enable cheats is one variable. Once you enable, that will be available. So let's see from how to begin with Doji. I will create a new game here. I will say my first game. So this is how it looks like. The game is created in your document folder, My Documents, Doji Games, and then this is the My First Game is the directory where there is a content directory in which you see images, scripts, and dialogues. Under images, there are backgrounds, foregrounds, and inbuilt. And under scripts, there are two script files, DSC. They are basically text files. And do not rename these files. These are default files. You can add more files if you want, but don't rename these files. This is a sequence 00 vars and 01 main. So let's look at this file. So I would suggest keep the title of the game and the directory of the game same uh, so that you don't run into other problems. And you can have a subtitle here, the version of the game that you want to create, the author of the game, info about the game. This is displayed on the screen. I'll show you in a second. And then the link. If you want the player to navigate to a certain link uh, for your game or your website, you can provide that. These are fixed locations. There is no change because this is all metadata. I don't want the developer to get a headache arranging all of this. And then you can provide a game thumb. This thumb should be a PNG, which will be in your foregrounds directory. In images, you have foregrounds and backgrounds. So it can be one image in your foreground directory that can be put here without the extension. So as long as by default, the resolution of the game is 1920 by 1080. Uh, and then when you choose this resolution, um, you don't have to look at the dialogues. What will be my dialogue back picture, my speaker back picture, or text back picture? You don't have to enable all of this. This will be used as default, but you can. You still have an option, choice to enable them. But if you change this even by 1 pixel, then immediately it will ask you to set these tiles because the sizes are proportionately created. So let's run this game and see what does it do. So this is 1080, sorry. That's why it gave the error. So I start the game. It asks me, is your name Vijay? Yes. And then it says, so the background here you see for this piece of text is text background. And then this is called the menu, as you know. And then this is again a text. And then this is a speaker background. So the speaker background, the text background, and this is also a dialogue background now. This is not just a text background, this is also a dialogue background. So there are three backgrounds: speaker, dialogue, and text. Apart from this, there is one more background, that's a scene background. So these are the things that happen. Um, so if your game resolution is this, you don't have to worry about speaker and dialogue and text backgrounds. These are defaulted. But if you want a different one, you can choose. And exactly as these are there, you enable these styles, these three styles, and then change the image styles here. These three are the image styles. One is a speaker image style, dialogue image style, text image style. The background is the speaker back. That's an image that you have to create, or you can rename it to something else. That's not a problem. And dialogue background and text background. And then the location, you'll have to understand the location. So how will you know the locations? Screen location calculator is available by clicking this button only after you compile the game. So you can select a point. So where do you want to keep your dialogues? So you can click a point. So I want your dialogue background to be here. So 70, 829. You want your speaker background to be here. 71, 750. So you can choose it this way. I press escape to come out of this. Or you can use a graphics program. For example, if I open Affinity Designer with 1920 by 1080 pixels, it will give me this. And I can create a dialog here, dialog box here, and then note the position of this. What is the position of this? So I center it exactly approximately like this. The position of it is here, 90 pixels and 785 pixels. That is what you'll come back and put it here in the location. Okay. And then the font style is speaker text. The speaker text font style is defined here. And it has to be arranged exactly like this: the name, size, style, and color. The style takes three values: bold, regular, and italic. And then color takes three values: red, blue, and green. Red, green, and blue. RGB. Yeah, red, green, and blue. So, and then the variables are defined like this. Every variable will have a var against it. You can define a string variable. They have to be initialized and they are global variables. The scope of variables is global, so that you don't have to pass variables to any function here. They are available throughout the game. And then you can have a string variable, you can have an integer variable or a decimal variable. You can also have a Boolean variable. So this is how it is. And then you define a function like this: function, the function name, and then the instructions here, and then end functions. Similarly, you'll define a menu like this: menu name, under which you'll have menu item. Under each menu item, you'll have what are the instructions that you want to execute throughout a menu item. Uh, I suggest you don't use any statements in functions and menus which need wait on the user. So until a user clicks, you will not execute another instruction. So those kind of instructions don't use. Better use arithmetic operations, if then else conditions, and call functions or go to functions. These can be used, but don't show a dialogue, don't show a character and wait on the character. That might disrupt your entire game. So that's one thing I wanted to tell. I will also talk about dialogues in the subsequent sections, but do remember this is an important. All your variables you should declare here. Navigation menu also I'll talk about, and then every your game must have a start of the scene and an exit scene. These two scenes are mandatory, in which you will write all other instructions. A variable can be accessed using @variable name in a string at some places, like a confirm dialog or uh, a text display, or in a dialog display. You can use that, or you can also use the variable name in a uh, speaker display. So you see that uh, it is given here. I will show it one more time. And the last statement in a scene should be either go to another scene or wait on the navigation menu, which happened in the first game I have shown you. I will take you through that game also in this second session. And the final option is to end game there itself. These are the three statements for any game, any scene to have at the end of it. When you wait, it will not go to the next scene. Instead of going to next scene, it will wait here. So how should it wait? It will have to display some options to you and then wait. So that is what it will do. So you'll have to use uh, wait using some nav menu, or you can also use hold here, or you can use go to, or you can use jump. So these are the two options that you'll have. Or you can also use end game. When you say end game, it will stop the game. So I will run this game once again. You note this point here, the char name. Where is this char name coming from? So it is asking the user what is your name, and it is put into char name. So let me run this game once again. I will say, is your name Vijay? No. Then it will ask me what is that. I will say Murli. Then it will welcome to Doji Games, Murli. Shall I praise you this? And then you see this Murli is coming here. That is nothing but @char name. So thank you. That's what is coming. Now it go to exit. So it has come to exit. So the text that is displayed here is you have pleasantly exit. You have to pleasantly exit the game here. Whatever statements you want to make, you can put here, and you exit the game pleasantly by using end game. When you have given end game, it comes out of the game. Now you cannot restart the game here because this is a runtime scenario. Now, where does the game info show? If you click game info, it shows here your game name, your subtitle, version number, author name, brief information about the game, and the link here. So this is a static content. You cannot change it, at least for now. Don't want to overwhelm the developers with too much of syntax. Don't worry about all of this. You just present this uh, data. That's enough for you. Thanks for watching.